Hey everyone, this is Kevin Palou with the ezComp team. Today I'm giving a tutorial on competing directors using ezComp and how to gain access and what you can find in here. So if you log into ezComp and you see that you have director portal access and you are able to click that button, great, you're ready to get started. If this is not active, that means that you do not have a showchoir.com account that is tied to a group in showchoir.com's database. So the first step that you would need to follow would be to come to showchoir.com, make sure that you have created a account on showchoir.com and know your login information there. And then you can either apply for accessing the director dashboard here. It'll go through a manual verification process and you'll get approved if we're able to find information about you online. Or if you are attending an ezComp event and your host has already sent you an email, that if they put your email address in and said, this is the director at this school, you would have gotten this email with verify your director dashboard access as the subject line. It might have gone to spam, but it might be in your inbox. And all you'd have to do is make sure that in the background you are logged in to showchoir.com already, and you just click verify access within that email, and you just got access to your school's group on showchoir.com. The only thing you need to do on showchoir.com is if your competition that you are attending is asking you to fill out your group information in the director dashboard, from the homepage, you just click Access Director Dashboard. You come in, and any schools that exist or groups that exist within your school are already lined up right here. This page is a preview of the only information that gets shared publicly on showchoir.com. Please note this header up here that's pointing out none of this will go public until after your first scheduled competition within showchoir.com. My groups are attending a competition on January 17th. That's when this will become public. So if you're uploading your information, but you don't want people to know until you've premiered it at a competition, great, you don't need to worry about that. If you have a choir that does not exist in here already, your groups have expanded, you renamed, you created a new group, you are able to add that right here instead of having to send that information off to anybody else. In terms of how to use this, right here, I can be adding my songs. And within that, if I added the first song and I need to add another song to be able to make that a medley, I can add that right here. Or I come back down and I add slot number 2. What am I adding in there? You're able to give your arrangers their kudos. You're able to list your soloists in here. You're able to share whatever information you want. If I need to change the picture or any of my other information for an ezComp event, I go to Edit Choir. I can upload and change my pictures here. I can change out who my directors are over here, my choreography team, and then down here, this is all information below here is what will never be shared on showchoir.com publicly. It only goes to your ezComp hosts, and you can fill out as much or as little of this as you would like. Your costume colors, your bio, choir names, band names, and tech crew names. You can hit submit, and that saves in there. But again, only the information above that first yellow line or bottom yellow line. This is the only stuff that will be shared publicly. So your student rosters will not go onto showchoir.com if you add them on here. They will only go to your ezComp host. Now, if I've gotten access, I've gotten all of that, and I just need to get into ezComp as a director, I come back over here, I get into the director portal. Any groups that are associated with my school, I'm able to get into, and I can choose what year. So as we go, I can be checking in on previous years. But I'm going to my corporation. Here's all of my events that I'm attending this year that have listed that they are an ezComp event. And I can come over here and I'm using this test event that we've set up to show you some stuff. Now, if you have access, but you have, say, a choreographer or an assistant director or a accompanist or somebody that's coming along to an event with you that you also would like to have access to this, you are able to manage that portal access right here. And you can say it's just for that weekend and you can remove them afterwards. You just have to have a showchoir.com name. So say it's an accompanist that's coming with you and they just want to be able to access things from their phone or computer instead of asking you, just to have a showchoir.com account, type in their name here and you can add their access. And if it's only meant to be for one weekend, you can revoke that access at any time. And that gives them access to everything on the ezComp side of things. So if I come back over here, in terms of what I might be seeing in here, depending on how much my hosts are choosing to use, there's plenty of opportunity for them to share their information with you for their event. This first one is there's a PDF uploaded here that they want me to fill out and submit back to them. I'm able to hit download original. It would download that PDF. I can fill it out. I can upload that file right here, and it would change this to submitted, and I would not need to worry about that anymore. They may share links or other PDFs to documents. Like I have a digital program and a director's packet shared in here. I can go click on those. That opens that directly. If my host is doing like unlisted YouTube links for my archive video after the performance, and if they want to, they are able to share that right here. So it again comes straight to my director's portal. I don't need to be tracking that down in my emails or in different Google Drive folders all over the place. So this is all possibly waiting for you if your host is giving you that. But as I scroll in, there's plenty of information in here that is great for me to see and know ahead of time for the competition. If they have released the schedule, I can come in here and I can see all the information for the schedule, including the breaks, exhibition performances, and awards. If it's a multi-day event, I've got all of that information here. And what's really great is if your host is using this and they, a fire alarm goes off or something happens and we're just running behind and they change the schedule, it will automatically update that information in here for you to see as well, instead of you having to do the math of, oh, they said we're starting 30 minutes later. I have to do my math all over the place. If they update it in here, then it will be updated automatically for you on your end in ezComp as well. I also have access to score sheets and rubrics, so I can see what's being scored, what's being expected or evaluated. So if I come in here, I can see exactly what they've put down for vocal categories, visual categories, how many points they're out of, what's being included in the totals, all of that. If they choose to create a rubric to share, that will also be here for you, and you can just get some clarity on exactly what they're looking for. If they happen to use multiple different score sheets, for different divisions or different groupings or dates, I can find those up here. If it's just the one, the drop down doesn't exist. I also, if they have released their judges info, I can come in here and see the pictures and bios of all of the judges that are going to be at this event. And I can find out who do I get to see that day, who's going to be evaluating us, who's going to be giving us critiques, that kind of stuff. All available right here with their bio shared. And then on competition day, when we get through, we're after awards and we're checking to see how things turned out. We've got access to all scores and results right here. You don't have to wait for the packets to be printed or go find those. You're able to get access to this the moment your host hits release. And it is mobile friendly so that the screen will adjust to your phone size, your tablet size, your computer size, whatever screen size you're using. This will adjust and be very mobile friendly for you. But when I'm in my results hub, I've got access to see all the placements, all the captions, my choir scores, all the scores by any judge for any group, a judge's comparison, and I can get my comments. I'm going to preface with these scores were entered completely at random and do not reflect any previous events that actually happened. So if we work through here, placements, what I love is that it's going to tell me within this group of everybody that was eligible for finals, here's how the placements shook out. I can also see placements within divisions down here if the competition is giving placements within divisions. But then I can click on that card and I get a breakdown. This competition was using ordinal consensus. It tells me the order of tiebreakers if it went to a tie. It's highlighting what votes were in there. And then it tells me down here exactly who got first place votes, who won. If it ends up with a tie anywhere in here, it'll work you through the tiebreak process. So here we had three groups get that first place vote. It shows who's in consideration. It works through that next tie, shows you exactly what happens, and again, shows you who won that placement. And no more you having to figure out everything on your own by looking at a spreadsheet. It's going to explain it all to you as you work your way through it. Okay, so that's your placements. I can go into my captions and same thing. I can see if it was a scored caption. I can see who won that scored caption. I can click on the card and it's going to show me that breakdown exactly the same as before. Who got the placements because of what and explain it to me. If it's a non-scored award, it's just going to show up here. This is showing that it went to this school. The soloist's name got entered in there. All the captions are assigned through here showing you who got what awards. If I come back, I'm looking at my choir scores. I can come in here, and this is just the scores that were from my group from any of the judges. It's really making sure that I see which sections did not get included in the total placements, if there are any. And down at the bottom, I see all of this. I'm able to adjust it to see, instead of the total, I can see my average in combined scores. So I can see which categories were my lower. I can turn on and off the view of different judges if I want to filter it down to really focus on a couple of judges, or remove the band judge score sheet, that kind of thing. If I come back out, I go to all scores, and this is all about transparency. So as I'm here, I see the rankings, and I see the band judge, his score sheet was not used, but everybody else's rankings are all right here. And then I can go and see this judge. What exactly did they give every group in every category across the board? Now, important to note that the scores are shared with everybody. No comments from judges will be shared with any group other than the group that received those comments. Now, if I go to judges comparison, this is where I really see the overall scores and rankings from every judge across the board on that date. I can change which date I'm looking at if it was a multi-day event. I can again filter out which judges are appearing here. If I don't want to see the band judge because they weren't in there, or if I only want to see the music judges and not the visual judges right now, I can filter those on and off. I can sort by the judge and be able to see, all right, how did that judge have things placed and how did that line up? You can sort it by whichever judge you're trying to compare on in that moment. And when final scores are released, you'll be able to see those next to that as well. And then your comments, you can access that from within your results hub here, or it's also available from your main page here if you're just trying to get in here to see the feedback and comments. Depends on what your competition host has chosen to enable, but there could be written feedback. There could be feedback that was typed by the critique judge or shared with the critique judge from the panel judges. And if they did any audio recordings, I can access those along with a transcription. So in here, I've got my judges' written feedback. I can scroll through and read all the comments given to me by that judge. If the critique feedback is enabled, these were small comments that were shared by a panel judge to the critique judge to be shared in the critique room. If that's enabled, I can see that. This is also where, if the critique judge chooses to type their comments within ezComp, it would show up in here as well. Chose to do an audio recording, I can come over here and all of them will be listed here. Prop that open. I can either hit play and listen to it from the start, or I have a transcription here of everything that was said, and I can find a comment that I'm thinking I need to go hear what they were talking about. Clarity in your text. I can hit that timestamp, and it moves me directly to that spot in the audio recording, so I can hear where they were in the show when they were giving me that feedback. If the competition is also hosting a solo competition within it, this is where ahead of time you can fill out your registrations. If they say up to 4 groups per school, this is where I can come in and I can enter if it's a solo or an ensemble, their name, song title, all that good stuff. I can see who I have entered down here for my school and make edits. If I know their names ahead of time but not the song title, I can add that in there. Once the host has created the schedule, I can see the competition schedule here. And once the solo competition is done, I can also see the results over here in order, and then I can see what my students received for their scores. I'm also able to enter their email address and send their score sheet directly to that student so that they can see the feedback from the judges as well. Written feedback would be here. If I'm attending an event that has any other type of competition, say standing choir, curricular choir, or choral ensembles, you've got jazz choirs going on, whatever that might be, those would live in this other competitions area. Again, you'd have access to schedules if the director or host has entered that. And we also would be able to see results within here with the score from the judge and the totals. I can view my group's individual scores or other scores for other groups in different divisions and see everything that I need to know from right there. If you have questions or you're having any issues getting access and you need any help, feel free to shoot us an email at support@ezcomp.app and we'll get back to you and help you out. Best of luck this season, everybody.